this is Kristen Baker, the YMCA Arts and Humanities Specialist, and I am here with Crystal Chappell of Guiding Light, who plays Olivia Spencer. Crystal, could you just give us a quick overview of your path as an actor, when you got started and then how you've progressed?
Well, my unprofessional career started in high school. I did high school plays and then went on to college and just kept going with it until I got an agent out of Baltimore, Maryland, doing a commercial. And my first honest-to-goodness job was a sneeze. I sneezed. And yeah, so that was very exciting. And, and then I came to New York and started to take some classes and ended up in LA with a teacher. And it sort of went from there. I went around and auditioned for agents, got one, got submitted for some parts, and got some roles. So it's just sort of been this slow progression of continuing to do what I like to do, and it sort of landed me in a good place.
And you mentioned that you started doing plays in high school. Was that when when did you first realize that, oh my God, this acting stuff's really cool, I kind of like it, I think maybe I might, or that you just even enjoyed it and kind of got lost in it?
We moved a lot when I was younger. We moved every 2 years. I went to 3 different high schools, and I was always a little displaced. Mm-hmm. And I was always looking for the temporary crowd, which were usually kids who were families were in the Army. And so, I needed something. Academically, I was fine, but I needed something else. And I didn't really get into sports that much in high school. So I just auditioned for a play one day. It really was just something I was interested in. Didn't think anything of it, but it became my little clique, a good little clique to hang with after school, and I loved doing it. When you look forward to doing something, when you look forward to staying after school,
right? Yeah,
it.
That's a really good point. And then when you would move from place to place, talk a little bit about those adult influencers in your life who helped you, say I really think you're good at this, or kind of maybe pushed you. Besides your parents, who were those other folks who helped you out?
Well, the teachers were extremely important. To have people who, and I had some in each of the schools that I went to. There was always one that stood out. I think that. Just sort of, encourage you to do so. Who cared? Who took an interest, really? And that's all it really takes, is just one person to take an interest. And, so my drama teacher in school, I was in his acting class, and he encouraged me to audition. And I found that in college as well. There was always a teacher who, despite, setbacks and things like that, who every time I went into audition was very open to me and the new experience of me auditioning, and didn't judge me based on my last audition. And, so it's just, I think teachers have been really terrific.
Mm-hmm. And then, outside of acting, if you want to sort of ignite your creative spark, or do something that, kind of you want to do something to create outside of acting, what is that?
Yeah, I'm kind of there are a lot of things that I enjoy, and I get bored very easily, so it's good for me to have a lot of different outlets. Mm-hmm. I'm actually a numbers geek, so I actually like paying bills and doing things like that.
That's what you enjoy doing outside of acting, is doing. I have a budget if you want to take a look at it. If that's Yeah,
because when you can make it work out, it feels really good.
All right.
And but no, I like to cook a little bit, and I'm a big runner. I'm very much a soloist, I think, when it comes to any kind of athletic, thing. Right. I like to run alone, and other than that, I'm sort of a weird clean freak. I'm totally geeky, but I stay busy. I'm like a shark. I never stop. Mm-hmm. I just never stop.
I've heard.
Moving.
Yeah. And in reading your bio, you studied with Meisner. Can you I'd love to find out how, I think I read you wrote him a letter and you went off to the West Indies with him, and I'd love to hear that story.
When I'd gone to New York, and I picked up a book called Sanford Meisner on Acting, and I it's one of those things where, and I don't know who recommended the book, but it was one of those things where something just speaks to you, like a method or a philosophy. And so I wrote him a letter. I knew he was based out of New York, and I knew he had this class, and interviewed with him. And he picked about 24 people to go down to the West Indies, where he had a summer home, and he taught a class down there. And so we went down and spent the month, and then he took half the class to LA with him to continue studying. So I got to be a part of that.
And what's can you give a memorable, what's a one of those memories that is right at the top of your...
Well, it's funny. I was thinking about this not that long ago. When I was on Days of Our Lives, a friend of mine who's a writer wrote a letter to Sidney Pollack, and because Sidney Pollack also studied with Sandy Meisner, and I got to go in and Sidney Pollack and I sat in his office and spoke for about half an hour about Sandy Meisner, and the first thing out of our mouths were, "Oh my God, he scared us so much." He was just a very authoritative, intimidating person, and he was hard. He was very hard about how he taught, but we both agreed that at the end of it, if you could get past that, you got some really, really valuable lessons. The thing that the moment for me with Sandy was when I felt like I could actually have a career. Was I was doing an independent activity, and it was something that really touched me. And as a really young person, I was able to dig something up. And he stopped the exercise and came up on stage with me, and he turned to the rest of the class and he said, "She can be an excellent actress." And I remember that like it was yesterday, because it gives me chills to think about it. And he wasn't a guru to me, but at that particular point in my life, and having been as frightened as I was of him, and the whole thing of trying to be an actor and pursue your dream, and there's so much ahead of you. But at that particular moment, I felt like, I think I can do this.
Yeah.
I really think I can do this.
Yeah. In speaking to YMCA employees and people who work with young people to help them find their sparks and their passion, what message would you give them, kind of remembering when you were, in school, to help encourage kids to find their spark?
I think first of all, I think it's just the absolute most noble position to be in, and I feel that way as a mother. I feel very honored that I have these kids looking at me. I think if you just really look at them, and you listen to them, and you'll see what they want, and you'll see what they're good at, and it just takes just this much. Mm-hmm. I know that's how, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for all those people who just paid a little bit of attention to me and took an interest in what I was interested in and said something. It just takes just a little bit, but I'm really in awe of what you do.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for your time.